What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to talk about something which I was very hesitant to talk about because I feel like I'm going to be admitting something that I really don't want to admit. But I know I'm not the only one. I've seen a lot of comments on TikTok. I see a lot of TikTok videos, like I'm on Nostalgia Talk, and it's usually like the 1990s, early 2000s, but every now and then I stumble upon the lockdown era. And I look at the comments, and at first I thought, everyone's being so stupid. How can you be nostalgic for that? It was the worst time ever. And I genuinely hated it at the time. But now, it's like, I don't know. I saw this one comment on a video, which is what inspired this video, because I feel like secretly I have been feeling this way, and this one comment kind of struck me, and it was a girl. She commented on this lockdown nostalgia video, and she said, is it just me, or does looking back at like 2020 lockdown just somehow make it seem like it was better than it actually was? Like, looking back at it now, like, we're all kind of missing it. I hated it at the time. I fell out with people over it. I literally, not necessarily the lockdown part. I mean, I'm a pretty introverted person anyway, so I don't very often go outside. Back then, especially, because I literally had no friends at all. And it was only around 2021 when I started to make friends again. But I think at the actual time of being locked down, I hated it so much that I was like falling out with people. I was falling out with family. Like, I didn't want to be around family because I had my own views on things, and I was getting so heated. I was so angry that I was restricted. I couldn't do anything. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a girlfriend back then, believe it or not. And I was unable to see her because it was lockdown. We literally couldn't travel or do anything. I hated that at the time. And this video is not about her. Like, looking back now, I really hated that relationship. And so I just didn't know it at the time, but I was so afraid of being alone that I clung on to somebody that I just knew it wasn't working pretty much the whole time we were together. And I guess just out of fear of being alone, I liked to be alone, but I don't like to be lonely. I always wanted to be in a relationship. And that's what it's not about that. Like, when I think back to the relationship part of things, that was bad. I didn't like that at all. But I was here in my own house when lockdown was a thing, and I was literally like having disputes with people over it, like family. I was just thinking everybody was stupid. How can everybody be in favor of this? Like, we can't call ourselves a free country when we're all fucking locked in our houses. Like, I thought it was insane. I literally thought the whole thing was just fucking insane. And I was so heated about this that it was driving me insane. The only relief I had through 2020 was making YouTube videos, and I was making those scammer videos. But then 2021 came along, and I actually went back to work at that time. I was able to go back to work. I made a lot of friends, and just from that moment on, things got better, and life just got better. And me and my ex had broken up and stuff like that. So that was kind of I guess it felt like a relief. It didn't feel like, I hate breakups. I hate everything like that. I'm the type of person, I've never broken up with anybody in my life. I've always been the one that wants to fight for it no matter what. And I don't know. I guess it's just the fear of being alone inside me that stops me from doing rational things like leaving when the environment is not for me. But around 2021, I started to get over her. And then I met these new people, and everything started to get better. It's been a long time since then. It's 2024 now. And so looking back, it's almost 5 years ago since all of this stuff started. And it's I kind of miss it in a way. And I hate to admit that. I really do. I fucking hated the whole wearing masks and having shields in front of everything. It was ridiculous. And I hated every single second of it. I didn't even want to see family because that's all people were talking about. You just couldn't catch a minute's peace from it. I made a couple of videos back then, actually, just ranting, I can't fucking do anything. I can't even walk outside my house without somebody talking about this shit. It was driving me insane. But then like I said, I made friends, and a lot of good people came into my life, and things started to get better. And now here we are. It's almost 5 years later, and I've made friends since then. I've lost friends since then. And I look back now, and it kind of makes me sad. It's not like the happy nostalgia, like looking back at 2003. it's like it hurts me. I don't know what it is. But I never wanted to admit that. It's like I'm nostalgic for it, but it hurts. And I don't know why. I hated everything. Like, I hated it so, like, thinking about it now, it makes me angry still. Standing 6 feet apart next to other people in the store, and like all these arrows on the store floor and things like that, like all these, it just felt so restricting, and in my mind I just couldn't help but think, this is fucking insane. Like, this is literally North Korea. We call ourselves a free country and we're doing shit like this. Like, this is actually insane. Oh man, yeah, it used to really get me so fucking angry. But then, like I said, it just changed, and now it's like 5 years ago since all that started. Like, I mean, that's why they called it COVID-19, because it started in 2019, even though it wasn't like, it was still in China, I guess, at that time, but like, it was more 2020 onward and like 2021. But yeah, 2021 was it was a really good year. Like, I genuinely somehow found happiness that year, but 2020, it was miserable. But looking back now, and I remember, like, I discovered TikTok then, and I started to use TikTok because we couldn't do anything else. So I was just like, well, everybody else is on TikTok, so I'll go on there too. And now TikTok's like a huge part of my life. Like, I'm always on TikTok. I've made friends because of TikTok, a lot of friends. You know, those stupid trends, like, people were using TikTok for dances and stuff back then, but now nobody really does that anymore. It's more like, it's basically like YouTube. There's just everything on TikTok now. But back then, people were just doing like dance routines and like choreography and whatever. And that, like that, that stupid song, that, oh my god, that makes me sick to my fucking stomach when I think of that. I even participated in that. I deleted that video, by the way. It was on my TikTok, but I deleted it because it was fucking awful. That song, that's actually a good point for this video, because I saw somebody do that sound recently, and I was like, there's a sound I haven't heard in a while. And they used like the hashtag like lockdown nostalgia or something like that, and it did kind of, like, as much as I want to hate that song because of the time that I found it in, I can't help but miss it. I feel like an idiot saying this. Like, I really do. Nobody with a sane brain would miss that time, but I do. I just, like, I don't think it's the restrictions and everything like that I miss. I actually hated that. I would never do that shit again. I think I just miss it was more the end of lockdown than anything else. I miss how I felt back then and how things seemed to change, and it seemed like the world was getting better again. I guess because we spent like a year living like robots, I guess, and under like North Korean rules, like can't leave your house without the government's permission, shit like that. I guess it made me feel kind of free, kind of liberated, and kind of like this sense of normality coming back to me again. I don't know. And then there was like, I've always been an introvert, like I said, so I thought the loneliness wouldn't affect me that much. When I found out we were going into lockdown and everything, I thought, you know what, it's not going to affect me at all. I don't care if I stay in and be alone. But then when it was actually happening, I was just so desperate to socialize. I'd never felt like desperation to socialize like that. And when I finally did meet people and I actually socialized like I'd never done before in my life, and I was really becoming like open with people and becoming real close with people, and I made some great friends. And sadly, some of those friends didn't stick, even though I thought like they would be forever friends. It didn't last. But I guess I miss how I felt back then. It was just, I don't even know what the word is to say. Like, I felt happiness and content, and like nothing else mattered except, you know, just being around people that you love and care about. That's when I realized that is so much more important than anything else that I had done in my whole 20s, which was like always chasing a dream, wanting to be a big YouTuber and wanting to accomplish this and do this and do this and do this. And I realized none of that stuff really matters, and the only thing that truly matters in life is having people around that you love and that make you happy and that love and care about you too. And I don't know, I think I definitely, lockdown changed me. I don't know whether it changed me for the better or if it changed me for the worse. I don't know. I guess there's pros and cons about how it changed me. But I definitely am a lot more of an emotional person than I used to be. I'm a lot more open with people than I used to be. I would say lockdown really kind of taught me to be myself. I'd never really been myself before. Around people, I mean. But I never let that guard down. I never really opened up to people and was able to be my genuine self. And now I can do that. And I guess that might have something to do with why I miss that time so much. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, do you guys feel in a weird way nostalgic for the lockdown era? I'm curious. Is this an actual thing? Lockdown nostalgia? Is it really a thing now? It's insane.